Hey everybody, welcome to another AnglersChannel.com video exclusive with Anglers Channel Pro Staffer and Insider Rob Digh. We're up in Denver, North Carolina. It's June the 7th, and gosh, Robbie, I can't believe the spring's behind us. It's summertime now, but we still have some really good tournaments going on this weekend and throughout the month of June, which we're going to talk about here today. And you were just up on Kerr this past weekend. Before we talk about the FLW, Bassmaster, the Lee King tournament down in Eufaula coming up this weekend, tell me about Kerr and what's going on up there. You know, it seems like this has been a better year for that lake from a weight perspective.
Yeah, John, it keeps getting a little better. You know, the bass virus has passed through that lake, and it takes a while for a lake to recover once it goes through those stages, and it's on the backside of it, and the fish are, you know, Kerr's never had a lot of 7, 8 pound fish in it. It's always had a lot of 4 and 5 pound fish in it. Now you're starting to see a lot of 2 and 3 pound fish, so another 2 or 3 years the weights are going to be back up, and you know, there's some hydrilla in there now, and we've had some good spring rains, so they had a good spawn, and it's going to be good for the years to come.
All right, tell me about your weight up there and what was your dominant pattern?
John, my weight wasn't huge, only 12.95, I think, won the tournament. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but I had 11.69, and the weights were really close, and caught a few of my fish on top water, and the rest of my fish had to catch offshore dragging a jig because they'd been pulling the water, and those fish and all the fish around the country, most of them are getting ready to get in this summer pattern, and you're going to see some really good fishing. Even though it is summertime, we've had some cool temperatures, and it's going to continue to make the fish bite.
All right, well, let's talk about where AnglersChannel.com is going this weekend and the Progressive Bass Wrap-Up Show, which, by the way, starts on Fox Sports Net Saturday, June the 30th at 7:30 a.m. We'll be on every single week for third quarter with a repeat during the middle of the week. We're excited about that, but besides that, we are going to Eufaula this week. We've always said it's one of the great bass fisheries in the country. This year it is struggling a little bit, and it has to do with what you just referred to as pulling water. When these lakes pull a lot of water, boy, it has a huge impact on the fishing. Yeah,
that Chattahoochee River, you know, they've got some sturgeon down there evidently below the dam at Eufaula, and you know, they have to run so much water to protect those fish for environmental reasons, and it's really hurt Eufaula. And they've killed a lot of grass, and you're going to see, you know, some fish come in, but the weights are going to be down, John. It's still a great place to go and a great place to visit, but right now the lake is struggling for quality and numbers.
Well, as you said one time when we were down there a few years back, you called it the Bass Factory. I mean, when it's on, it's as good as any fishery in the country.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's in the past, John. I think you're going to see, you know, it's going to take several years for that lake to cover, and it's been down before, and it's come back, you know, time after time, as we've seen many of these lakes. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Corps does over the next few years to make that lake come back.
All right, we've also got the FLW Tour going to Kentucky Lake this week. It started today, and Bassmaster Elite Series, Toledo Bend. Those are two monster fisheries. I've been to Toledo Bend. I don't even know where to begin there, except to say don't bring your cell phone because it won't work. But Kentucky Lake, FLW goes up there a lot. There ought to be some big fish there.
Yeah, you know, we got a lot of guys from around the house here fishing Kentucky Lake, and I know Andy Montgomery, Brent Myers, all those guys out in Texas. So, you know, you gotta pull for, you know, your hometown guys, and I think they'll do well. And a lot of these lakes fish like our lakes do around here. So it's a good time of year. The fish are grouping up. Usually the 1st of June that they get done spawning, and they get grouped up offshore, and you're going to see some good weights come in, and best of luck to those guys.
What do you think it'll take up at Kentucky Lake? Is that typically a 14, 15, 16-pound weight lake?
No, it's going to take more than that. It's typically, you know, it's going to take that per day to, you know, to get in check range. So there's a lot of 2 and 3 pound fish up there. You're going to need some 4 and 5 pound fish to win. So, you know, anywhere from 18 to 20 a day. You know, with the weather conditions, it was cloudy here today. I would say it was the same there because we had a big front pass over these Blue Ridge Mountains, and might hurt the deep bite some up there. It's just according to how much rain they've got. The word that I got, there was some fish shallow and some fish deep. So with the spring that we've had, John, the fish have been kind of in transition all year because they hadn't been in one place. There's been a few here and a few there because we've had real warm weather and we've had real cold weather. we really hadn't had a winter for what you say. So if those fish have moved out offshore, you're going to see 18 to 20 a day, maybe a touch more. But, maybe the weights might be down a little bit just because of the winter we had. But it's going to be exciting to see what happens.
Well, that's good stuff, Rob, and it's always good seeing you. Where are you going next? I mean, you've had a very busy year. You've had a good year, which we'll tally up at the end of the season, but what's your next big event?
We got a BFL over at High Rock, and it's, High Rock has been fishing real tough. The weights have been up, but the numbers of fish have been down. So still a lot of good fish in there, and looking forward to that. It ought to be a good tournament in June, especially if we get some hot weather. Those fish love hot weather over there, and they move extremely shallow when that happens. So looking forward to going over there in June, and then got a Bassmaster weekend over there in August. So going to be over there for the next couple months.
It's funny. We were up there covering the Carolinas Bass Challenge this past weekend, and it's just amazing what that team trail is doing. It was the North Carolina Championship, regional championship. The winner, I believe James Blankenship, won a $30,000 boat trailer package. Second place was $8,300. You keep following these team trails that are going on. They are affecting the BFLs and the Bassmaster Weekend Series because the payouts are better. They're more affordable when you find a buddy to fish with, and they're hotter than they've ever been from a team trail perspective.
They are. You can win more money per dollar at the team trails than you can these other events. And, like we were talking before, it's probably the new wave of the future. Long as the contingency monies and the boat people keep putting up the money. So it's really, it's a no-brainer for most people. And it's a great deal that Brett Collins is doing in Skeeter.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Well, hey, great seeing you, man. Best of luck up at the Rock. And best of luck to all the anglers fishing this coming weekend. Summer's here, and that means we'll see you next week.